So America had made improvements in its transportation with the advent of canals. However, another form of transportation had been around for a little while, also started to take off during this era: railroads. So it's one thing to take goods, freight, and people by waterway via a canal, and it's another thing to take them by rail. With the advent of steam locomotives, um, there now could be a different form of transportation to haul people and goods even quicker than canals. So, by mid century, railroads would become the primary transportation system. You had the invention of railroad tracks, you have steam powered locomotives, and you have a development of trains carrying people and freight across the country in rapid fashion, largely in the Northeast throughout the Northwest. So you have a development in your northern and northwestern territories of railways, specifically from places like New York to Chicago or otherwise. We talked about in the canal zone, you could take goods up the Hudson River across the Erie Canal into the Great Lakes. It could take 3 weeks for goods to be shipped via canal from New York to Chicago. That's definitely better than what had previously existed, but that's still long. That being said, though, if you start to build railways, that could drastically reduce the time. So much so that, in essence, a railroad from New York to Chicago could take goods and people and only take 2 days, as opposed to 3 weeks by canal. So you have a massive increase in efficiency for travel, thus making things cheaper and less expensive. Never mind, significantly faster. So you're able to deliver people and goods at a very fast clip by railroads that are now being built and encouraged by the federal government as a means to grow economic access. So, wherever railroads went, you wanted to be. The federal government aided the growth of railroads by making available public lands specifically for railroad construction. So, what that meant was if you built a town or if you were on a rail town, you wanted to be near a rail stop. You wanted to be near where goods and people could be moved and shipped. That was your lifeline for survival. Much like modern highways to this day, if you're along a major interstate, chances are you're going to have commerce and survival. Back in the 1840s and early 1850s, the railroad, the railroad tracks, rail stations, that was your pathway to commerce. You wanted to be where the trains went. And as this happened, you started to see a large development of your Midwestern cities grow even bigger because they were along railroads. Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City. Towns like that became major cities largely because they were major stops along railroads. And they could deliver all kinds of different things, anything from livestock to other goods in and across. People demanded things from Chicago in New York City, send them by train. Now things can get there efficiently and at a low cost. So trains would really revolutionize the idea of how Americans shipped goods and how they did things in a quick and efficient manner, get things in and about across a vast area. So yeah, canals are still really important around this era, and people still shipped goods by canals. It's just that's no longer the only means other than going across mountains. Furthermore, speaking of which, as you have mountains, you no longer have to go around them via a waterway or whatnot. You can actually go through them or over them or otherwise build a trestle across rivers and whatnot. Trains. Trains revolutionized America and the way that we transported goods And because of it, you also saw a burgeoning corporate entity with our train economy.